how does your spine and nervous system affect your quality of life? How can a well-adjusted spine make you more money or have you have better relationships? Well, this is a pretty big can of worms to open up, but I want you to understand how important chiropractic is in taking care of your spine and nervous system, not even just in your health, even though that's important, but in every area of your life. So this is an amazing study. It's done in Medical Journal of Spine. This is done by a team of medical doctors. I think it was 7 different doctors. And what they did is they had people fill out these questionnaires on their quality of life, how much money they made, what their relationships were, if they're married, if they were single, etc. All this huge long questionnaire. And then they did x-rays of their spine. And what they found is that the people that were the furthest out of alignment, whether it's from the front to back, we know the spine's supposed to be straight up and down. From the side, we're supposed to have these 3 different curves. The further they were shifted out of alignment, either from the side or the front, the more that the spine deviated from normal, the worse their scores got. The less money they made, the worse their relationships were across the board. And then the opposite, the better their spines were, the more money they made, the better relationships they were, the better their quality of life. So let's break that down just a little bit. Remember, brain runs everything, right? And how does the brain get the information to your body? Through nerves that have to run through your spine, including your glands, which affect our hormones. And what do our hormones affect? They affect all sorts of things, but they can affect our emotions, and we make decisions based on emotions. We like to think it's on logic, but we justify those with emotions. At least that's what the research shows. So for example, we have one area of our body called or part of our brain that's called the prefrontal cortex. And if you think of the prefrontal cortex, kind of like the executive. Think of a big company and you've got the powerful person, the man in the suit or the woman in the business attire, and they're running the whole company. Just for an image, I want you to think about that. That's kind of what your prefrontal cortex is. It can helping you make decisions in terms of goals and goal setting, avoiding distractions, and helping you have a better quality of life. Well, they found specifically, this is a separate research study, that if our range of motion is limited, it affects the nerves going up into our brain and specifically affects and diminishes the function of that prefrontal cortex. We're going to make worse decisions. And when the spine's better adjusted, when we have better range of motion, it improves prefrontal cortex. They did pre and post MRI studies when people got adjusted. So if your prefrontal cortex is functioning better, you're going to make better decisions. This is why I'm so big on getting kids adjusted. Man, childhood's tough, especially in these days. Adolescence is tough. And as young people, we are not as astute. Our prefrontal cortex is not fully developed yet, so we can't make as good as judgments as we do as an adult. So we want to make sure that thing's functioning as best as it possibly can. So hopefully you can see that's just one small component of it, but the better our body is working, the better our brain's going to function and the better decisions we're going to make. One other component that was done by another study done by Irvin Coor was that when our spine is out of alignment, put pressure on the nerves, it moves us more into what's called a sympathetic dominant state, a fight or flight state. And if you just think about that, when we're stressed, if you're being chased by a bear, you're not thinking about how can I make my schedule good for tomorrow so I have time to exercise or make the right food choices or sit down and have a great relationship conversation with my spouse about our financial decisions. No, you're thinking about trying to outrun this bear, right? Well, when our body's under stress, fires what's called our amygdala, we don't make as good a decision. So hopefully you can understand how taking care of your spine and nervous systems, it's not just about your health, although that's very, very important. It's not just about how you feel. That's important as well. It's about the quality of your life, and it saves you money. That's what all the research shows. So obviously you cannot afford not to get regular chiropractic care. So please let your friends, your family know, because again, their quality of life improves. Guess what? Our quality of life improves because the better the people in our community are, it serves us all.